In today's video, we're going to talk about 15 things that you need to know before you visit the country of Georgia. Not the southern state, totally different, other side of the world. The first thing that you need to know about Georgia is visa on arrival. As a U.S. citizen, and actually this is for almost every country that I have come across, or this is for multiple countries, not just U.S., but you get a 1-year visa on arrival. So as soon as you get here, they stamp your passport and it is good for a year. If you leave and come back, you will get another year. That's kind of the main draw of me coming here, because I knew that I could take my time and I don't like to feel rushed, so I had plenty of time to explore. And it is also why a lot of people come here and they stay and they live for long periods of time, because it's so easy to come and go. When you are here, there is an app called Bolt. It is like the Uber in the US or like Grab in Asia. You download the app, it's called BOLT. You put in your credit card information, and when you need a taxi, essentially, you can use Bolt. It takes you everywhere you need to go. And something that I really like about being here is, instead of when you're in other countries, for Colombia, for example, this is the last country I've lived in, so I will reference this place a lot because this is the only other country I've spent the most of my time in outside of the US, but you cannot compare anything to the US. Nothing, or it would be a completely different video. So in Colombia, we use Uber. Here we use Bolt. In Colombia, you might have to give the Uber driver directions. Not gonna lie, this has helped my Spanish. They don't know where they're going. Here, you get in the car, you say hello, you say goodbye. They drop you off exactly where you need to go. They know exactly where they're going. It's amazing. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who found this fascinating, but in the US, same as here. They know where they're going, but if you come from Colombia, oyos, no, it's so much different. So it is nice. So they also might not speak to you while you're in a Bolt, because a lot of them do not speak English, especially if you get out of the big city. In the big city of Tbilisi, the capital, yes, people are going to speak more English here than anywhere else. But once you leave, unless you're in a very touristy area or you're in a guest house or you're in a hostel, even then, probably not. But in Tbilisi, yes, higher chance of people speaking English. Once you leave the city, the chances of someone speaking English to you are very slim to none. Almost everybody here, obviously, they speak Georgian and Russian. So if you speak one of those two languages, you will be great. If you do not, like me, you will be using a lot of hand gestures for what you need. So it's a good thing that I don't have to give directions to somebody in the Bolt, because I would have no idea where I'm going. This brings me to the fourth thing. Get a SIM card while you are here. I got my SIM card at the train station. You can get them anywhere. I highly recommend, if you plan on going to the mountains, to get a GeoCell. GeoCell works the best, especially if you're going up to Mestia. I'm not sure about the other side of the mountain, but I think it will work in all of them. I paid 37 lira. I will put how much that is down, for a SIM card and for 1 month unlimited data. And let me tell you, the data was great. It worked the entire month, and it was probably better than sometimes the internet at the hostel. So I noticed that I was hotspotting my phone all the time to upload videos or to do anything online. So get GeoCell unlimited data. It cost me 37. It might cost you between 37 and 42 depending on where you go, but it's a reasonable price. I think that's like, I'll drop it below. I'm not sure how much it was. Mine has ran out, so now I have no data, but I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here, so I'm just relying on hostel hotel Wi-Fi. Plus, in Tbilisi, they have a Wi-Fi called Tbilisi Loves You, and it's free. So if you log in, you can get Wi-Fi when you leave. Here where I'm at, I'm a little far from the city, but if I'm in downtown, I can log on, no problem. Fifth thing I want to talk about is when you choose to come here. Georgia has 4 seasons, very much like the United States, especially the northern United States. Here, it is summertime. Tourist season, basically, I'm here during peak tourist season. Tourist season starts in July and goes to September. That's basically when summer starts as well. I will tell you, it is hot. It has been between 90 and 100. If you can tell, I'm sweating sitting here. It is past 6 p.m. at night. I'm sweating. The sun is still out. The sun doesn't go down till about 9 o'clock at night, and it rises about 6 o'clock in the morning, so we do have the longer days. With that said, July to September, it is hot and arid, and it is summer peak tourist season. Yes, things will be more expensive for this reason. A lot of the locals also go to the mountains, which increases prices in the mountains. However, it is also the best time to go to the mountains because during winter, some of the roads are closed, especially if there's an avalanche. So if you're going to Mestia, you can go in the winter time, but best time is to go in the summer, and then you can do the hike to Ushkuli, or you can hike all through the mountains. Also, if you're going to Tusheti, best time now because you cannot get there in the winter time because the roads will be closed. They're already dangerous in the summertime. So just be aware of that. Fall starts September. Mid-September to October, it'll start getting cooler. That is also the best time for wine and cultural events if you're into wine, because wine season, that's when they pick the grapes. I've lived in California, so I know this is the perfect time for wine season. They start making the wine. So if you're a big wino, perfect time for you to come in the cooler temperatures, and the tourist season slowly starts to go away and prices will begin to drop as well. As well as just beware, it is very windy. It is windy here all the time, but it's more windy in the fall, as well as if you have allergies. This is something to know about. If you are like me and you love the change of leaves, since there is 4 seasons here, the leaves will change colors, and the mountains here are so beautiful. I can't imagine how pretty it would be in the fall. November to March marks the winter season. Winter is great if you like to ski. However, in Tbilisi it rarely snows, but you can go to the mountains. Like I said, half of the side of the mountain will be closed because of the roads, but you can still go to Mestia because they actually have a road that you can get through as long as there's no avalanches. In the town I was in, Mestia, before, I'll show you some footage. You can actually go skiing there, and there is a ski slope. There is like everything that you need. It's just basically, it reminded me like a little town in Montana or something that you're going skiing in. As well as you're gonna have shorter days. It's winter time. The days will be shorter, just like in the US. However, if you're looking for a time to come when it's less touristy, winter it is, but it's also going to be cold, and depends on what you want. You can't really do any hikes, you can't do anything like that. So you could wait till spring. Spring starts in April and goes to basically mid-June. This is when the leaves are going to be blooming, just like in the US. We have leaves blooming, lots of allergies. So if you're someone who is like prone to pollens, probably avoid that time of year. Also, you're still going to be in the low season, so it'll be a lot more affordable if you come during that time. The 7th thing, we're going to talk about transportation again. So Bolt is the best way to get around cities. If you want to leave the city, and if you don't plan on renting a car, I don't recommend renting a car because they drive like crazy here. You can take a bus, which is called a Mashuka, if you're trying to leave from Tbilisi. There are like 4 bus stations. Each bus station goes somewhere different. Each bus station driver will not know where they're going, except it's a disaster. If you've been watching any of my videos, one of the biggest headaches about getting around here is finding a bus to go where. They will point you in 800 different directions. They're probably all right, and they're probably all wrong. The only problem is I don't speak Georgian. Most of the time it's all written in Georgian except for the big major cities. So for example, if you're going to a small town, like when I was traveling, I like to go to the small little towns. I don't know if I'm going to the right place because it's not in English. So you have to go around and ask every single driver where they're going. So then you're going to get to the town. So you made it. However, the buses are so infrequent. There's not really a time schedule. There is kind of, but not really. You might not get a bus back, which leads me to point number 8. Hitchhiking is very easy. I have been hitchhiking with fellow travelers because it is the easiest way once you get somewhere to get back into the city. The easiest way is to hitchhike. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you because it's really difficult getting around. Georgia has actually probably been one of the hardest places. There is public transportation, so I don't want to say there's no public transportation. There's tons of buses, tons everywhere, but it's hard because you don't know where you're going, and no one knows where you're going. People think you only want to go certain places, so they don't put you. It has taken me hours searching for buses, so just be aware. You will find your way. It just might take longer than you thought and than you expected. Oh my gosh, so this guys picked us up and we all just got in their car. Number 8, smoking and drinking, a way of life. I have been in hotels, I have been in hostels, I have been in guest stays. There is one common theme: chain smoking, and smoking here is really cheap, so everyone does it. I just watch people light one cigarette, take another out, toss it. They use the other to light the other. It is, everyone is chain smoking. And drinking. I don't drink. Everyone will offer you a drink. I had this one guy at a hostel. He couldn't understand the fact that I didn't want any of his homemade wine. And everyone makes wine, especially in the countryside. Everyone makes homemade wine. They make cha-cha. They make everything, and it's really strong. I don't drink. I don't recommend. I mean, if you want to, I heard it's really strong. I don't know. But every country has their own homemade something. This is the cha-cha is theirs as well as wine. Georgia is known for their wines. They're known for having great wines. I think they actually have one contest where they have the best wine in the world. And I think they're one of the oldest wine making countries in the world. So you wouldn't think about it. You think about France or Italy or Argentina. No, Georgia. I know, crazy, right? The ninth thing has to do with the wine. I just told you though, they're known for their wine. Everyone drinks. Everyone makes their homemade wine. And if that's your thing, you come during wine like crushing season, you can go to the vineyards and go tours, and you can drink tons and tons of wine. So if you're a wino, Georgia's perfect. Look, I'm like even sitting next to grapes for wine. How crazy. But you know what? I've actually been eating these grapes and they're really good. So they're not like the tart ones. They're like delicious. There's a whole bunch right there I'm already going to eat later tonight. Number 10 is the men can be a bit aggressive. I mean, a lot. I've had people harass me in taxis. And I don't want to say like harass, because I don't think they know that it's just their behavior is a bit too much. I don't think they realize that we're not used to that. I mean, they're just like, they will hit on you and like touch you and everything. Like, I know Italians have like the reputation of like, I've been to Italy twice and I've never been harassed. I lived in Colombia. I get catcalled, you get like whistled at, but no, here they will like grab you, touch you, harass you, and they just think it's okay. So I have a video about that if you want to see how a taxi driver harassed me basically the entire way, wanting me to marry him. He picked me up, he wouldn't leave me alone, he kept trying to kiss me. So yeah, they will be aggressive and in your face, especially if you are a woman traveling by yourself, so be prepared. When I'm with a guy or another traveler, fine, but when you're by yourself, that is the worst. So just, you have been warned. It wouldn't stop me from coming, but just it's nice to know, because I had no idea, and I was a little bit like, I was a little bit taken aback, because I was like, I survived South America, right? It's like so machismo. No, this is like a different level of machismo. Number 11, back to oh God, sorry, I should have put all these together. Number 11, driving. Oh my gosh, they seriously drive like they're like trying to win a Formula One race car speed race. Or I don't even know what. They drive like maniacs. They are dodging. They're like, okay, I mean, India might be worse, but here is like the top 3 places that I've been to with the worst drivers. They are dodging goats. They are dodging cows. They are dodging dogs. They are dodging people. They are going around cars on curbs. I was supposed to go to Tusheti, and I read the road is really dangerous. I chose not to go, because I don't want to get in a car with some crazy driver in a cliff on the other side. I mean, I've been in lots of crazy driving situations in my life, but because here, okay, in Colombia they drive, but they don't go super fast. Compared to here, they don't go fast at all. They're speeding around corners. They're passing semi-trucks. Here they are like double the speed. They just put their foot down, pedal to the metal, and they just go, and then they go around. The other day I was in a bus, in the back of the bus, and we were driving, and the guy slams his like brakes because another car is in his lane coming toward us, and he has to stop. But normally he only stopped because it was one way. But if it wasn't one way, he would have just got over a little bit and went around, because they just dodge left and right, and they just put their foot down and they just go. It's insane. It is like another level of driving here. So if you get car sick, you want to take something, and the roads are really curvy as well. Okay, the food. I think this is number 13. The food is amazing. It is spicy. Some of the dishes are very spicy. Someone had told me, they laughed at me because I couldn't handle the spice, but it was spicy. And the second thing, the food is delicious. It is spicy. It is a lot of bread. I mean, I think I've eaten more bread since I've been here than I have anything else like any other time, like, because it's just like you can get the kinkali, the khachapuri, you can get all this stuff. It's like cheese bread, meat bread, egg bread, potato bread. They're like basically pizzas. And then, yeah, I mean, I can eat one and that's all I need all day. I mean, it's also cheap because you can get one for $4 which is like $1.50, and you can eat it all day. But I don't really want to eat that much bread. But something else that's really good is they have fruit stands all over. Like I bought an entire watermelon today. I got like 4 nectarines, 4 peaches. So you can eat really healthy. And the fruits, oh my goodness, they're like the most delicious fruits I've ever had, because they're like North American fruits, because we're in the same kind of climate, but like they have flavor, and they're so good and juicy. And oh my god, I have a watermelon I've been eating, and I'm gonna eat some more nectarines later. But I mean, seriously, oh, they're just so good. I can't even tell you. The cost of living has gone up significantly in the past year since the Russian-Ukrainian war. A lot of Russians and Ukrainians have fled their countries, and Georgia has the 1-year visa. So a lot of them have come here as refugees, not refugees because they're not technically, because you don't have to, you get a year visa. That's like for almost everybody. So they came here to get away from their countries, and the market, everything has just gone up. I mean, but this is all over the world, so that's not just here. But you used to hear about Georgia being the cheapest country in the Euro Asia area. It is no longer. I can tell you that. It is probably more expensive than Colombia. It is more expensive than Colombia. I'm gonna get my numbers, and this will be a video coming that I'm working on, so don't worry, I got you. But yeah, there's been a huge influx. The population is like growing like crazy for this one reason. And when you go to like hostels or hotels, people are living there. It is not a backpacker, like when you go to Latin America, it's backpacker here, backpacker in, backpacker out, backpacker in, backpacker out. Here it is like, sometimes I'm the only backpacker. They're living in hostels. People are living in hostels. And I mean, it just is what it is. Unfortunately, they've had to leave, and this Georgia has been somewhere good that people can go to, but it has increased the cost of living for everybody, not just for locals, but for locals, for tourists, for everyone who's moved here. But this is like worldwide. So, I mean, there's not really a solution, right? I mean, I'm sure eventually they will balance out, you know that word. But right now, no, it's definitely still expensive. Yeah, I say compared to the US, is it expensive? No, absolutely not. Compared to what it used to be, yes. But compared to like my country, absolutely not. It's not expensive at all. Compared to what it used to be here, yes. You can drink the tap water here. Georgian tap water is freaking amazing. I've only had to buy like 1 or 2 bottles of water, mainly so I can have a bottle to put my water in from the tap. So every time my bottle goes, I use it for a couple weeks, probably longer than I should. I have a reusable at home. I gave it to my sister to take home. I didn't feel like carrying it. But I just buy one of these, lasts for a couple weeks, and then I buy a new one. So I'm not using too much plastic. I normally carry a bottle, but I have so much stuff. It's insane. Anyways, so yeah, you can drink the tap water. There is the Borjormi factory as well, which is Borjormi water. It is supposed to be a beautiful little town. I might go there. It's not too far from here, but that is basically where a lot of the water comes from, because there are like natural springs here, and you can, in almost every town, and like even in where I'm staying, you can just, anywhere that has a spout or a spigot, you can drink the water coming from that. Like when I was hiking up the glacier, I could turn a spigot, and the water coming from there I could drink, because it's coming straight from the mountains. So the water is like so good. It doesn't smell like chlorine. It doesn't smell like any crap like other countries. It is just like so good. I drink so much of it all the time. I mean, it's hot, so I drink a lot. But anyway, so 15, the last thing I want to talk about is credit cards and cash. So I have noticed a really good 50% blend of the two. I personally don't like to use credit cards. I always have cash with me. I prefer using cash. I take cash out of the ATM. You should always have a good credit card. I use Charles Schwab. They give you back all your refund all your ATM fees and your bank fees, foreign transaction fees. They refund them all. I always use Charles Schwab, and I always have a Chase credit card, because foreign transaction fees are not bad. With that said, I prefer to pay in cash. But if you like to use your credit card, almost all major stores here will take your credit card. Guest houses, hotels will not take your credit card. Like, I'm staying actually at a hotel right now. I will pay in cash. I haven't paid yet. They're really easy. Some places are really flexible on the money thing. I've been here for a night. I was gonna pay the guy earlier. I didn't. I had to go get change, and now I haven't seen him. I mean, I'm gonna pay him, but it's just like some places, you know, you go, you pay like right away. Some places are more relaxed. Like, you never know what you're gonna get here. It's kind of like a, what do I pay now? Do I pay later? I don't know. The guy, it's okay, it's okay. But if you take a Bolt, your credit card, they will take your credit card. That's why I like taking Bolt, because my credit card is already there, and plus it costs like so much cheaper than a taxi. So, and plus, as taxi drivers drive Bolt, just like in the U.S. Uber, taxi, it's the same exact thing. So, yeah, so I recommend having cash on you. Go to the Bank of Georgia. I think has the best Bank of Georgia ATM. I think has the best fees. I have heard from other travelers who are Europeans, and they actually don't get reimbursed like I do. So I'm lucky that I can get reimbursed. But yeah, cash, just take it out of the ATM. Best exchange rate. Credit card, when you can use it, you can use it. Like I said, big supermarkets, they have malls here, so you can use it at a mall. You can use it at the grocery store, restaurants. I mean, you can use it a lot of places. But if you're like me, I use cash. So that was probably a really unfair question, but I would say 50-50. I guess that was a really unfair answer because I always use cash because I'm just so used to it. But I've noticed it's probably like a 50-50 blend right now with cash and card. But always have it to pay for your like buses, your Mashukas, and your stays, your hostels, your hotels. Unless you're staying in a big one, then they're gonna take your card. So those are 14, 15. So those are a few things that I wish I had known before I came to Georgia. I have been here, like I said, for about 2 months, and I think that like the longer I stay, the more I learn. So this video might need to be updated the longer I'm here. I'm probably only gonna stay here for another month, and then I will go somewhere else. So hopefully this was helpful for you, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.